Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and to the BSR Radical Thursday. My name's Andrew Woodhouse and I'm alongside former iRacing World Championship driver Lee Thompson. And Lee, we are here at the Monza circuit. What a great place for a race as usual. We're going to see some great close action, slipstreaming aplenty, and the drivers are going to have their hands full, I think.
Yeah, what an epic Formula One track that we're at tonight. Yeah, one of the great traditions of the calendar. Radicals around here, they're very, very lively. You know, there's lots of curbs on those chicanes around Monza. Radicals can take them, but you got to be careful with how you're using the brake with it, how you're using the throttle, and a few good medium to high speed corners to really let the Radical stretch its legs. So yeah, should be good fun for the guys tonight.
Yeah, indeed it shall. And well, we've got 3 races, of course, here tonight, and we're going to see that. Well, we're definitely going to see some great action out there on the circuit, and we do have a track guide for you, which I'll bring you right now.
Evening iRacing. Lee Thompson here. I'll do you a hot lap guide for tonight's BSR Radical Thursday. This week from Monza. Great combination for the track and car. Of course, high-speed circuit, high-speed car, lots of downforce. The fix setup these guys are running, you've got to be careful in corner entry. But actually, mid to exit, it felt a little bit on the understeer side. But yeah, pretty good for Monza. Right, so here we are on board then, heading down into turn 1. Braking point for me is just before the 100-metre board. Hard down into second, but then waiting for first gear to make sure the rears don't lock. Careful then on the power from that first gear. So easy to spin up the rears and get a big tank slapper going. Try and stick to as much to the inside of the track here, not to lose any unnecessary hundredths of a second just by travelling a little bit further than you need to. As soon as we get under the bridge, there's a little bit of tarmac on the right. That's my braking point. Down into second and climb over the curb here on the inside. Avoid the sausage curb ideally on the second one. I took a little bit more of it than I wanted, but got away with it that time. First Lesmo, just a little flick down into third gear, try and hug the inside, plant the throttle back down, allow the car to run out wide. Same for the second Lesmo, just a little drop into third, climb all over the curb on the entry, and again ride that rodeo of a bumpy curb on the outside. You can just keep it planted, allow the steering to kind of move around on that exit curve, and we should be fine. Next up then, going to come under the bridge, back down into third gear again. Be careful of the rumble strips there on the inside. I took a little bit more of it there, got away a bit. Plant the foot down up to fourth, and out we go onto the back straight. So just the final corner to go. All the way over to the left, there's going to be a little green strip of kind of astroturf on the left. As soon as we get to the end of that, again down into third gear. I took a little bit more inside curve than I had done on previous lap, but actually it worked out as a decent sector. Open the steering as early as you can, and just take a nice straight line if you're on a qualifying lap to the start finish line. Otherwise, you'd let it come.
Well, thanks Lee for the track guide. Here we go, we're ready for the start. Sven Glatzel, Ash Sutton, Christian Rose, Nico Foggy, the top 4. Green light is on, we're away. Really good start by Glatzel. Terrific start from the second row by Nico Foggy as well. We saw how quick he was last week as they all streamed down. There's been a crash in the back as well. One of the Craig Setup Shop cars in the problem, and Glatzel goes deep into the Rettifilio, nearly loses it. But they're all out of there really safely. But here comes Foggy Lee, coming through Curva Grande.
Yeah, and it's because Glatzel really struggled to get the car stopped in chicane. He was really squirming all over the place. So yeah, Foggy senses his opportunity. Is he going to dive out to the inside? There's no rush. He doesn't. He sits in there for now, 2 side by side for 4th and 5th or 5th and 6th.
Yeah, and it is.
Brandon and Webster.
That's right, Brandon in up to 5th place now.
Yeah, so at the minute then, so Glatzel has just managed to hold off Foggy for a moment. So Glatzel's still in the lead, then Foggy in second, Ash Sutton they're close behind in third, Christian Rose 4th, Johnny Brandon 5th, Dan Webster 6th, Jack McIntyre 7th, Jamie Rushworth in 8th, Will Daniels in 9th, and Chris Cash takes up that final 10th spot as Glatzel, a big error at the at Ascari, and through goes Foggy. So Ash Sutton's going to get a run as well, and I think Glatzel's got slowdown penalty, so he is out of there. Just got sideways midway through Ascari, and that was it, up and over the curb.
Sorry for the visual issues. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. So I'm going to try and sort that one out for you as we go. Apologies for that.
Yeah, so Foggy's still in the lead. Ash Sutton and Christian Rose side by side as they go over the finish line. They're both going to be getting a draft from Foggy, and out pops Ash Sutton. He's going to be on the outside as they head in towards the first chicane. Foggy should have it secured, and Brandon's got himself right up there as well now, up into third. And they're all through pretty cleanly at the front there.
Oh, damn it.
But as I say, Foggy comes through ahead. Ash Sutton still tucked in behind, then Johnny Brandon. It's going to be super tight now as they come into Variante.
Yeah, I think I might be having some connection issues, so I'm not really sure if that is the issue or not. But here comes Nico Foggy up the inside into the Curva della Roggia. He's made that work very nicely, hasn't he?
Yeah, defended that position, but Ash Sutton comes back, and what a cheeky place to look to have a move. Foggy gives him the space, goes very, very wide. Can Ash Sutton get the drive out the corner? Foggy's got it covered. So, yeah, cheeky little move there from Ash Sutton, having a little look into the first Lesmo. But, yeah, Foggy gave him the space and managed to drive out that corner very nicely. See him all streaming through in the background. We've got the top, 15 cars or so, all in a pack before we have in a little gap.
Well, it's going to be like that all the way through the race, Lee. I think as
Sutton around the outside.
Oh, terrific move! That's such a difficult one to do into the Ascari, the first part, and Ash Sutton. Oh, he's asserting himself on this race. Foggy on the outside into the Parabolica. Brandon's not giving up either. Lee, it's going to be great.
Yeah, Ash Sutton's got the inside, but Foggy's got his nose ahead, so he can carry the drive around the outside of his corner. So it's just whether Foggy got his braking point and his line right. It looks like it was pretty good, so they're still side by side as they come through, and it's going to be a drag all the way down to the first chicane. I reckon Brandon and Rose are going to be all over the back of them as well. Brandon may well look to have a move on Sutton here and make it 3 wide.
I almost didn't look into the Rettifilio.
Yeah, Brandon's the one on the inside. He takes the lead. Did he get the car stopped enough? He does. Gets the chicane completed. Ash Sutton gets a little touch from behind there from Foggy. But Brandon, third to first in one slipstream, and is pulling a gap.
Here's Jack McIntyre then. For Momo Racing, we're on board with him. You can see what's going on in front. See, they're almost 2x2 into Curva della Roggia. Hard braking there underneath the bridge. Sometimes you just get enticed, don't you, by trying to just steal an extra few metres under braking into there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very easy on all of the chicanes really in this circuit to get sucked into them and to end up just struggling your way through. It's easy to overdrive these cars in this circuit, and you do just need to back them off ever so slightly and just make sure you get your line right and you can get on the power hard and early. But yeah, so XVR and CQR blocking out the top 4. Jack McIntyre, as you said, still hanging on there in 5th. Sven Gatzel recovering in 6th. We'll see if he can make any progress after his first lap error.
Absolutely steaming under the old banking. The car's here, really wide.
Yeah, right up over the grass. Ash Sutton's got a drive on him. Can't remember if that's going to... I think Brandon should be okay. He should only be an off-track. Shouldn't be a slowdown penalty at all on the exit. But he's got the inside somehow still as they head through the Parabolica. But Ash Sutton's going to, again, get that drive around the outside. And it's going to be a mirrored rinse and repeats from the last lap with the 2 sets of teammates all swarming on each other.
Maybe for the rest of the race. See how close it is. You don't need us to tell you. Oh, we're going to get 4 wide. I don't think Christian Rose is that daft, to be honest. We'll see who's going to be latest on the brakes then. Sutton squirreling around.
Oh, just barely. How did he get that stop? And Brandon getting it sideways as well.
Yeah, he really lit up the rears on the exit as he tried to keep pace with Sutton. But Sutton's not going to get away easily. I'm sure of it. The way this slipstream and this Radical works. In fact, Lee, this group at the front's getting bigger and bigger as the laps go on. You see the German Sven Glatzel up the inside of McIntyre with rear damage, left corner. It might not affect him too badly around here.
Brandon a little wide on the exit of the second chicane there, so that allowed Foggy through. Just the same move that Sutton pulled a lap earlier.
We've had a crash, Lee. Jamie Mayer's involved, and let's see exactly what happened on that one on the replay. It's into the Curva della Roggia. He's side by side Oh, and he gets a slight hit up the rear, I believe, and ends up spinning. Oh, and then there's a bit of contact behind. Not the most elegant 10 seconds of those gentlemen's career, I don't think.
It was a bit awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, they tried to get out of it. So far, Monza easily, with that big stop into turn 1 on the opening lap, we could have had a huge crash. And actually, to be fair, we've not had that many retirements. We're looking like we're up at 8 now. So we've got a decent chunk of the field still going, and reasonable gaps between them as well. Like I say, we've got a big old group at the front here.
Oh, look, something's happened to Richard Gafencu. It looks like it's on the exit of Ascari. Is he going to drop it? Oh, wow, he doesn't drop it. He launches it.
Yeah, unusual to get the inside curb too much on that last part of Ascari. So easier done on the first and second. But
off. And that's Foggy into the gravel.
Yeah. Be interesting to see the replay on that one.
Yeah, I think we can.
Say Ash Sutton come out the head of now.
I think we can get one. Here it is. Foggy.
So Foggy dives up the inside, outbreaks Ash Sutton. Can he get it stopped? He can't, so he's just sideways. Ash Sutton very, very lucky to get by. Brandon had to back out of it, but still held on to second. So yeah, lucky all around for those guys. It was Foggy going for that move and just not being able to get the car stopped. It is really, really easy for the rear to step out on all of these big braking zones around the track.
Well, Glatzel and Rose came to some small contact there, has to be said. But yeah, very lucky to get away with it, everybody there. Off goes Luke Cooper. See him having some problems. What's happened there? It's a car in front getting really, really sideways. Not sure who it is. Are they going to come into some contact? No, Cooper loses it. Oh, he's round. Yeah. And then he gets hit by
Cooper.
Mayers, McRitchie. It was Lee. Sorry.
Yeah, Cooper tried to give him it's my bad. Cooper tried to give him the space, didn't he? And was way offline, making sure there wasn't going to be contact, and that just caused the lost control. Johnny Brandon's back up in the lead, squabbling with Ash Sutton. So Sutton relegated to second. So CQR now second and third, with just the lone XVR driver hanging on in front. But here comes Ash Sutton.
Here we go. What's Rose going to do? Oh, that's what he's going to do.
Move on his team leader. He's got the inside line. He backs out of it very, very early. So Ash Sutton and Brandon very evenly matched. But yeah, Sutton gets that move done.
I think he was trying to bait them into a mistake, wasn't he?
Yeah, I said, is he going to put a move on his team leader? I just had the sneaky feeling that he would not risk, having an incident with Ash there. And lo and behold, yeah, he did maybe the sensible thing to back out of it.
One thing I've noticed as Rose going up the inside of Brandon into the Rogier, one thing I've noticed is that just how smooth a lot of these drivers are in this car. We saw the first few weeks of this Radical series that the drivers were being a little bit skittish on the controls and really trying to get used to this car and sawing away at the wheel a little bit, but really smooth now, and it's really paying off for these guys at the front especially.
Yeah, lots of cars on the service do as well, but this car for sure requires a light touch. It's very, very subtle movements on the steering, lots of yaw control with the throttle and the brakes.
And that's Ashton. Jack Ashton. And that is at the exit of the second Lesmo. Ooh. Oh dear, that's a big one. I tell you what, the car seems like it's actually... maybe it's not, I don't know. It looked like it kind of got away with it, but it's crabbing appallingly now. Yeah,
it's tricky there on the exit of the second Lesmo. It's so bumpy on the exit curves. I talked about that on the hot lap that we saw at the start of the race. You just got to hang on in there and hope it holds in, and yeah, just didn't quite get it hooked up right, did Ashton there.
Well,
right, so Chris knows, is he going to put the move on Sutton this time?
Well, here he comes. Can he outbrake him is the question though. That's the difficult part, isn't it?
Yeah, so Sutton's come back at him a little bit, but contact! No, just about avoided it. So yeah, Rose did get that move done. Did well to get it stopped.
Yeah.
And Brandon had a little look at Sutton there, but yeah, nothing happening that time. Foggy already, thanks to his squabbling, is right back with the pack now, so he's got opportunity to get right back in this fight.
Yeah, no major damage for Foggy. And Jamie Rushworth in 5th place as well. Oh, Paul Denton's crashed. He's crashed out of the top 15. Let's see what happened. And it's with Richard. Is it Richard Warmingham maybe? No, it's McNally, isn't it? And he just locks the rears. Denton.
And again, easy done. Again, something I talked about in the hot lap video. You've got to leave that last gear change right to the very end. Really try and ensure the rears can stay in check. Yeah, the rear definitely does want to stop out there at the end of the braking.
Although I will say, of all the mistakes to make around this track, it's maybe one of the least costly. In terms of, he won't get any damage from that, so he'll be able to go on as normal. Now, we're looking back from Christian Rose, and you can see the squabble behind. Look how late Sutton is on the brakes, so he throws the car into the corner. And this is going to be a great angle to see just this slipstreaming battle and how it unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, Sutton for sure late on the brakes into Parabolica there, but Brandon, stuck with him behind as well. He had a little nose at Sutton as here he pops out from the slipstream. They're both all of a sudden catching your C. It's going to be free wide again as they head into turn 1. Brandon backs out of it.
Rose
he doesn't
allow Sutton through, I believe.
And Brandon got sideways.
Didn't quite get a good shot of that, but yeah, Rose gave Sutton the space. And now they're side by side. Now Brandon, is he going to thread the needle? Those two really
stick his nose and thinks better of it that time.
I was going to say, I thought they would work together, maybe not leave that door open so wide.
Yeah, and so Sutton backed off early there, allowed Rose the position to try and get the cut back, but hasn't quite got the drive off to have a nose into Lesmo 1. We can see Jamie Rushworth back there in 5th, right with this group now, so it's a 5-car train that we've got back to. And Rushworth probably wants to sit, if I was him, a second back and allow the instance ahead to unfold.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very sensible path to take. Here is Rushworth.
And Rushworth and Foggy both got rear damage.
Former British sim racer touring car champion, off goes Johnny Brandon. Brandon's around. Does he get it back on safely? He does. Let's have a look then and see exactly what happened from outboard. Oh, he just maybe in a little bit too hot, possibly.
Yeah, he tried to quite rightly go as tight as he could because he knew he had Ash on the right there, and it looked like it was as much the impact of the sausage curves on the inside as much as maybe then just making a slight touch with Ash in the middle of that as well. But
unsettled the car, didn't it?
Yeah, just too much, wasn't it? But Rose and Sutton then Foggy then Rushworth.
Well, Rose giving Sutton the slipstream. Foggy trying desperately to get tucked in himself. Really late on the brakes is the Scotsman. And the Englishman is the one that... Oh, he nearly loses it, Sutton. And I don't think Rose had the best corner either.
Exactly, that's why Sutton lost it, wasn't it? Or nearly lost it, rather, just because he had to back out of it because he got right up underneath the gearbox of Rose. But nonetheless, he's got to drive out and he's still going to be challenging for that first position.
Big crash. You wonder if I think there's occurred late.
Could be change of lead.
Big crash has occurred and... Don't know what's happened there. Do apologise for that. It's just stopped. No, it's back. Let's have a look. Do we have a big contact here? Cash and Daniels and Stevens. It says have all crashed. I wonder if it's just a big traffic jam at the chicane. Oh! Oh dear. Yeah, it was. Oh, and then Brandon goes around.
Yeah, so Brandon now really struggling with that damage on the back of the car. He is well and truly done for the race. Yeah, back at the front, Sutton from Rose, from Foggy, from Rushworth still. So yeah, they got through that squabbling at the start of the lap somehow, and there's still this 4-car group. In the background, 3.5 seconds further back is Richard Warming and then Glatzel in 6th, Jack McIntyre down in 7th, Will Daniels in 8th, Chris Cash in 10th, and Kip Stevens taking up that 10th position. Kip just jumping ahead of McIntyre.
It's quite a big battle, that, isn't it? Daniels, Cash, and Stevens.
And in fact, McIntyre falling down the order, he's gone from 9th to 14th.
And this might be why. It's into the Ascari. Oh, and he's... Oh, damn, he's done the same...
Curb.
Yeah, same thing as what...
it looks like he was trying to... Yeah, it looks like he was trying to correct a bit of oversteer mid-corner maybe, and that just set him on that trip into the barriers.
He was wide in the second part, wasn't he? Couldn't keep it quite on the inside as well.
So here comes Ash Sutton looking to stick his nose up the inside.
Oh.
Can Foggy hang around the outside? He can. Great driving from the both of them.
Sutton,
Sutton was so early, so hard on the power. You could see that from even mid chicane. Really, he was looking to take every opportunity to get that cutback, and it was too much even for the British touring car driver.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, very eager on the power. Oh, just the rear tyres just couldn't handle it.
So all of a sudden, Jamie Rushworth up into a podium position.
You'll be loving that. From a BSR TC champion.
Oh, he nearly puts in the barrier as well. Huge sideways moment. Massive high-speed section at the exit of Ascari there. Going to be doing, what, a ton probably at that point.
Yeah, he will not be loving that.
Wow, held on to it.
Now, the battle is still between CQR and XVR. Different combatant for CQR leading the charge. Christian Rose is the one who now might have to go and try and take this win for himself. And here he comes. He's on the inside, and he's going to keep just enough of his car alongside where Foggy cannot switch back to the inside. That's important. But Foggy, again, look how late he is on the brakes. And he uses almost a bit of locking on the rear, Lee, to just flick the car into the corner.
Yeah. And again, some of that might be the downshift into first gear. As you bang it into first, you can time that right just to give it a little kick round as it tries to lock rear slightly, as you say. And Rose coming back hard at him as they come up towards Varianti. Foggy's going to have the inside though, and again, so much later on the brakes. Can he get it stopped?
He does it. Yeah, nicely done by Nicole Foggy.
Oh, and in the background there, Richard Warmingham pushing super, super hard all over the exit curb and the gravel on the end of chicane there. And yeah, he's pushing as hard as he can.
I think Sutton's had another crash. Because that is not what the Radical should look like. It's the same corner. Oh!
Yeah, and just looks like he was already struggling with damage, wasn't he? I think you could just see how unsettled the car was already.
As well, mate, he probably cooked the tyres with his spin earlier on as well. Well, it didn't help.
Jamie Mayer's falling down the order as well. He's just lost 5 spots or so.
Sam Fitzpatrick has gained 19 spots. He's up to 9th place. Here comes Foggy then. He's about to start the final lap of the race in round 1 of the BSR.
Right with these two now. Sorry, Woody.
It's all right.
Yeah, I was just trying to say, yeah, Rushworth right with these front two now. So he's gained a good half second, I think, on this lap. So he could be in prime position again now as they head towards turn 1. Foggy and Rose get themselves tangled up. Rushworth is right there to reap the rewards. Foggy on the inside, Rose on the outside. Foggy again, harder and later on the brakes. Does get it stopped. We can see that Rose is going to get the cut back a little bit more though. Ooh. So Rose is going to be looking very, very strong for this next chicane, I think. Good drive off it corner.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. He's got a good run.
He's going very wide very early though, so he's given himself much greater distance to travel around the corner there.
I think he's on purpose.
Not really going to challenge.
Not attacking, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe he was just trying to give himself the view down the circuit. I mean, it is tricky sometimes when all you can see is a rear wing in front of you. But
he probably wants to move.
Rose had a good shout there.
He probably wants to move into Parabolica, doesn't he?
True. Yeah, maybe thinking about not doing it too early is a good point. But getting to Foggy, you can't rely on Foggy making an error or anything. So Rose is going to have to be absolutely on it through Ascari now to have any chance of happening. I think that's going to be a little bit on the optimistic side.
He's going to have to put himself in a position where he can take this away from Nicole Foggy, because Foggy is not going to give it to him.
Right, so here we go then. Out the exit of Ascari. Rose is there, but not right on the rear wing of Foggy. So let's see if Foggy does need to defend. He does defend. So Rose is going to have to go around the outside. Foggy, we've seen how late he can be on the brakes. He's going to judge it right again. Rose tries to hang on in there. Is he going to run out of road? Just about gets there. It's going to be a trek to the line, but Foggy is going to get the drive. Very, very good fight from Rose there. You see him coming back, but Foggy gets it.
Got Foggy then with the win. 33 100ths of a second. It's still going off here between Cash and Kip Stevens getting in P6. Tell you what, that's a good performance in the end from Stevens. Anthony Jacobson, we haven't seen him really, but 16 positions gained. Sorry, 20 positions gained, 16th place. Lorne Murray, oh dear, he's got one of those British stock cars, I think, there.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of radicals out there looking very sorry for themselves, is what I was trying to eloquently explain.
Craig Jones getting across. I tell you what, though, this race has claimed many. It's claimed 18 drivers, so... And McNally's close with O'Connor and Hardy coming across. And Alan McCain, who's had, obviously, some difficulty. But he does manage to get across in 22nd place. Paul Denton, we saw him crashing off as well earlier. And he finishes in 23rd. So, and then looking down the list, if we do have a full, it's probably going to be Jamie Mayers who goes on to pole position. So we'll see that in a minute. But first of all, Lee, if you could do the honours of reading out the race results.
Yeah, so congratulations then to Nicole Foggy taking yet another win in the season. As you say, super close, so 300ths of a second from Christian Rose. Jamie Rushcroft did pick up that podium spot, didn't quite get the contact ahead that he was looking for to sneak ahead. Richard Warmingham in 4th place, good strong race. We didn't see much of him, a little bit lonely for most of it, I think, stuck between sort of 2 groups. Sven Glatzel then takes 5th. Kip Stevens then in 6th, was at the front of that big train of cars that we saw fighting for the back end of the top 10. Chris Cash in 7th, Will Daniels in 8th. Sam Fitzpatrick picked up 9th, Robert Plumley in 10th. Luke Cooper in 11th with Jamie Ayres in 12th. Ash Sutton limped home to 13th. Tristan Bodic then in 14th. Dan Webster 15th. Anthony Jacobson in 16th. Lorne Murray in 17th with Craig Jones in 18th position. And in 19th was Adam McNally. 20th, Lane O'Connor. 21st, Carl Hardy. 22nd, Alan McCain. 23rd was Jack McIntyre with Paul Denton in 24th. And Jamie Mayers was 25th in the last point scoring position. And everyone else then finished 2 or more laps down. Carl Jacquelet, Johnny Brandon, and others. So yeah, I think retirements by the end of just... Go on, Woody.
Sorry, I was going to say I think Denton and McIntyre were swapped around on the results because I believe Denton was 23rd. I'm pretty certain of it, but sorry, yeah, go on. You were saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, so decent amount, yeah, quite a lot of retirements by the end there, unfortunately, but it wasn't from one big incident. Yeah, it's not like we had a couple of big crashes. It was guys quite reasonably struggling on a tricky track in a tricky car. Yeah, it is tough on this car getting it stopped from those high speeds into those chicanes. We see how tricky the curbs are as well around this place, and yeah, the guys were just finding those walls and those barriers quite regularly.
One of the big misconceptions about this circuit is that it's easy. People see a lot of straights and think, "Oh, it's an easy track." This, it really isn't an easy one to master. And I've driven thousands of laps around here in my career, and it it surprises you every time you come here. You always find something new, always learn something. So that's what the drivers are going to have to take into the next race. Now we do have the reverse grid wheel. So which of these combatants is going to be successful in getting pole position? Now we'll see what the wheel has to say. Of course, we got the full segment on there. Oh, it's not going to be a full. It's going to bypass that. And it should stop at 11. That is a small one, Lee.
Yeah, so Luke Cooper then is out on pole position. So as you say, yeah, quite a small reverse grid this time around. So yeah, Luke Cooper pole, Robert Plumley second, Sam Fitzpatrick third, Will Daniels in 4th. So those are going to be our two rows starting off from the second race.
Perfect. And we will see that second race at the other side of this commercial break. So join us back here on Apex Racing TV when the action continues in the BSR Radical Thursday. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to BSR Radical Thursday. We do apologise for the issues, but the server just basically died on us midstream, so we've had to come in. It's taken us quite a bit to fix it, but we have done that, and we can see that Sven Glatzel has a 6-second lead, Lee, which is quite remarkable around here.
Yeah, he's really managed to break away at some point during the race, and he's just got, say, a couple of laps now just to stroke it home. Behind that, though, for second, third, fourth, fifth, is looking like a much more interesting battle. Luke Cooper, then Foggy, then Fitzpatrick, then Stevens, all looking very, very tight.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one then. Cooper versus Foggy. Foggy's going to definitely be in the ascendancy. Can he get a good run through both Lesmo to get into Ascari first? What's the dirty air like in these things? Do you get much disruption?
Yeah, they'll get a little bit of push, but I don't think it'll be too bad on this track and these cars. They should be able to follow pretty well. It's just the visibility, just giving yourself a line through some of those quicker, short apex corners where it can be very tricky when you're following so closely. But yeah, Foggy closed a little bit down the back straight there, but wasn't able to really do a huge amount. Let's see how much of a look he is going to make as we head towards the Parabolica. Pretty clean from all the five guys there as they went through the Ascari.
It was. I think there's been an accident near the rear of the field. That was Steve Hefford and potentially, is it Webster? Let's have a look into. Hit on the rear, and then I think car 56, Stefan Losley, Frenchman.
Yeah, innocent party. Unfortunate for him, that.
That's it. Glatzel on his merry way.
Foggy just getting past Cooper now. Yep. That's it.
So I thought
on the outside into the first chicane and gets that move done. Cooper just gives him a little bit of space, probably sensible. Foggy already had a good portion of the car ahead. Sam Fitzpatrick now is going to look to try and follow through as they head towards Varianti. And yeah, Cooper's going to get a little bit of a run on Foggy, so Foggy goes defensive as well, just to make sure of it. And let's see how they shuffle through the corner.
On board with Rob Plumley then.
And very, very wide for Plumley there, right out over gravel. You see him just losing that momentum as they head to the first Lesmo. Foggy already just breaking away slightly, so Fitzpatrick is going to want to get a move on past Luke Cooper if he wants to try and hang with Foggy and have a chance. A bit wide ahead there, we see the gravel kick up for Luke Cooper as well as Sam Fitzpatrick moves out.
Yeah, and on board with Stevens, you can see the as Ash Sutton's crashed, I think, but here comes Fitzpatrick again, having a look. He's got that rear damage. Stevens seems to enjoy this car. I tell you, he seems to be getting good results out of it. He's always better in the races. Here we go. Well, we're going to have one lap to go here at Monza. Jamie Rushworth dropping down the order. What has happened to him? Well, we'll see what we will see what's happened to Rushworth. Is it going to be? Oh, hello, middle of Ascari that time.
Yeah, really got away from him early on there. I wonder if he was struggling with damage maybe from earlier in the race. That looked a real handful as he came through Ascari. So Foggy still ahead of Cooper, then Fitzpatrick, then Stevens, then Plumley. So no change in that half lap as we were away.
Problem for McIntyre. Just behind this group, going slowly, coming out of the Rettifilio. He was actually classified in this battle according to our timing screen, but not anymore. He's dropped about 3 seconds behind this one then. So Foggy, Cooper, Fitzpatrick, Stevens, Plumley are second through sixth.
Yeah, and it's looking very, very tight through third, through sixth for sure. So it looks like Foggy's just managing to break away a little bit, but I think it's going to be busy still for the guys there behind. Biggest movers from their grid positions are Jack McIntyre gained 17 spots, Jamie Lee Mayers gained 17 spots, and in 15th place Craig Williams gained 23 spots, biggest mover of the field.
Yeah, Williams crashed on lap 1 in race 1, making a much better fist of it in race 2. McRitchie up 17 positions as well. Jamie Mayers and Jack McIntyre both up 17 too. Here we go then, Sven Glatzel coming to the line, Lee.
Yeah, so it's been looking pretty solid all the way through from him, from what we have seen. So he strokes at home at the end there, I'm sure, trying to take no further risks. But yeah, Sven Glatzel then takes the win. Looks like Nicole Foggy's going to get that second, and can Fitzpatrick get the run on Cooper for third? No, if anything, Cooper is the one who ended up closest to Foggy. But yeah, they all stayed as they were, as they were weaving then across past the grandstands down the start-finish straights.
Yeah, Denton and O'Connor fairly close together. McRitchie and Jacobson not too far apart as well. But yeah, nothing super close as we get to the end of the race. Stefan Leslie and Dan Webster, as we saw. There's Webster. Ash Sutton had problems on the penultimate lap, dropping down to 21st place. So not quite sure what happened to him.
Yeah, again, like in the first race, we're seeing lots and lots of cars carrying damage, so they've all had busy races from the looks of it. And again, cars are so aero sensitive in this place that.
Well, that was Sutton losing it on the way into Curva della Rosia. That was. And again, it's just that if you hit the curbs too hard, it just can really make a mess of it. And has everybody finished the race? Looks like they have now, Lee.
Cool. So congratulations then to Sven Glatzel for taking that win. So it'd be interesting to hear later on how much of a battle that was for him earlier in the race, but certainly by the end, yeah, he won by 7.7 seconds, so it looks comfortable for sure. Nicole Foggy came through to take second place after his win in race 1. Luke Cooper with a very strong third position with Sam Fitzpatrick in 4th. Robert Plumley then in 5th with Kip Stevens in 6th. Jack McIntyre 7th. Chris Cash in 8th with Jamie Mayers in 9th. Cole Hardy finished 10th with Lorne Murray in 11th. Paul Denton in 12th with Lane O'Connor in 13th. Jamie Rushworth in 14th with Craig Williams in 15th. James McRitchie in 16th with Anthony Jacobson in 17th. Tristan Bodich then finished in 18th position with Alan McCain then in 19th. Roll the screen. Thank you, sir. Jamie Ayres in 20th with Ash Sutton in 21st. Laura Bond in 22nd with Adam Nally in 23rd. Stefan Leslie in 24th with Dan Webster in 25th. Richard Warmingham didn't have such a strong race this time compared to his race 1 in 26th with David Ayres in 27th. Steve Hefford finished one lap down, last of the point scorers. So that leaves us with Craig Jones, Johnny Brandon, Nathan Davis, Richard Gafengu, Jordan Goodings, Jack Ashton, Carl Jacquelet, Trevor Blackburn, and Christian Rose, Paul Crabb and Will Daniels all finishing well down order. So Christian Rose, after his second place in race 1, obviously had an incident on the opening lap from the looks of it, finished 10 laps down.
Yeah, and well, they're not going to be getting the reverse grid pole, that's for sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the wheel on this occasion then. Oh, the -5 is in play. Oh, it's just gone past that. P14 is going to be on pole for this one. P14 is going to be Jamie Rushworth, Lee. So a good result for him.
Yeah, that could be looking very good for Rushworth, and we saw his pace in race 1, finishing in 3rd. So pole position here. You could be looking like a very strong result ahead for him.
Indeed, and we'll be back with that third race after the break here on Apex Racing TV as BSR Radical Thursday continues.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line. Of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerit at the line.
Ciao a tutti and welcome back to Monza for the BSR Radical Thursday. We are here on the grid for race 3 of the evening, and it's Jamie Rushworth that finds himself on pole position. Which will be exciting for him. Lane O'Connor in 2nd place, Paul Denton in 3rd, Lon Murray 4th, Carl Hardy 5th, Jamie Mayers in 6th, Chris Cash in 7th, Jack McIntyre 8th, 9th for Kip Stevens and Rob Plumley in 10th. Andrew Woodhouse and Lee Thompson with you. And Lee, well, we're just about ready, I think.
Yeah, sounds like it. Green light's going to be coming on. Alright, off and away. So Jamie Rushworth gets decent start. Lane O'Connor looking like he's going to get a little bit of a run on him though as they head towards the inside of the first chicane. Look at that spread of cars all thundering down to the first chicane. That's going to be messy. I think all red car in the middle going in a bit hot. Got away with it somehow.
Oh, there's a couple of spinners, but I think it's pretty...
That was looking not bad.
Bit of a carambolage at the back, but that's about it.
I think we'll chalk that up to a success. I think Jamie Rushworth still in front, Lane O'Connor still 2nd, Paul Denton 3rd, Chris Cash gained 3 spots off the grid, now up into 4th. We see them side by side battling for like 5th and 6th positions.
Yeah, Rushworth leading the way.
Yeah, so Jamie Rushworth, as you say, looking like he's breaking away a little bit. What's happening though with the groups behind? So yeah, from behind Chris Cash, it's starting to get very busy. Jamie Lee Mayers, Jack McIntyre in 6th, Nicole Foggy already up into 7th, gained 6 spots just in the opening lap. Cars side by side for 7th, 8th, and 9th as well, I think.
Foggy attacking.
They've sorted themselves out.
Foggy's going to attack McIntyre here. So he makes his way through the grid, that is. From 13th on the grid, what a start by Foggy. He really can get this thing off the line with alarming speed.
Yeah, looking
and
very busy behind
consistency.
There, Woody. Big group of cars all battling.
Chris Cash and Paul Denton for the, what is at the minute, the final spot on the podium as they come over the line to start.
Look at that group of cars behind Woody. They'll spread out 3 wide as they're heading towards the parabolica there. It's going to get very, very tricky, I think, as they head into turn 1 again. Here we go, 3 wide as they head in. Ooh, they're going to get it stopped. A little bit of locking, but pretty good effort from the guys there. They cleanly got around somehow. All 2x2 as they went through the apex. 3 wide as they come round this flat right-hander towards the second set of chicanes. Not sure I'd want to be in the middle on that one.
I wouldn't want to be on the outside either, because you might get shoved onto the gravel, and that's pretty much a death sentence around here. Into the Rozier. Can they all get through without hitting each other? Oh, there's a car off, and it's Mayers in the gravel, I think. And Glatzel is off as well.
One. Yep.
Didn't quite see what happened to Sven Glatzel. Let's see. That's not going to tell me either, is it? Because no, that's not going to tell me. Ah, that's going to tell me. Let's have a look. Let's go back another few seconds and see.
Separate instance,
he just got the old wiggle on, didn't he?
Yeah, so very easy. Once it starts to go, you're really going to struggle to gather it back up. So we've got 3 distinct groups formed at the minute, from 1st down to 8th, from 9th down to 16th, and then pretty much from 17th to the back of the field. 3 massive groups all battling away as we see Lane O'Connor just pulling away there from Chris Cash, running a fraction wide out of the parabolica.
Paul
Jamie
Denton.
Rushworth, though.
Paul Denton with a great run. I think the slipstream of O'Connor is helping out Chris Cash. Denton looks like he's going to have a dive.
That was very, very late that Cash moved over to a defensive position there, so fortunately Denton was just far enough back, but you'd hope changes of position be made before we get to the braking zone. Certainly didn't look that way from the angle that we had.
Murray's crashed. What's happened to Lon Murray for Result Clothing? And he's been hit by, I don't know if that was car. I don't know if that was. It might have been McRitchie actually. Yeah, it was. It might have been McRitchie, possibly. Oh, and there's another spinner, and that's Jamie Ayres going round. And I do not know what happened to Ayres. Does he just lose this on the way in? Hoping the trees won't be in the way for this one. Oh, he tries to have a move, does he? Tries to go for a move.
Ooh,
too hot.
Brakes. Yeah, much too hot.
Oh, and it was McRitchie, I think, who had to dive out of the way. Look at the battle for the lead now. Rushworth from O'Connor, from Cash, from McIntyre, then Denton and Foggy. That is the battle.
Yeah, looking very, very busy as they come out of the Parabolica. Say all 6 cars there, pretty much nose to tail with Foggy at the back. You can't imagine he's going to stay there for much longer. Chris Cash looking like he's going to be the one to push a move on O'Connor. But no, here comes O'Connor and Rushworth as well. Are they going to make it 3 wide? No, Cash hangs back. O'Connor late on the brakes. He's going to try and make that move.
Oh, he's done it.
Does chop across the nose, and there's a little bit of an effect through the rest of the cars. And there's all had to check up, and I think we got a little bit of damage on the back of Rushworth's car as a result.
That's a hell of a move by O'Connor. Really got through forcefully. Oh, big one in Curva Grande. It's Cash, and it's over and out for Cash.
McIntyre and Cash, I think, wasn't it? It looked like. Yeah, just got tangled up somehow. Plenty of space on that section of track. You don't need to take a tight line. You can, there's such a gentle radius to that corner that yeah, real shame to get tangled there.
Let's have a little. Well, we would do. Never seems to work when I press that button, I must admit. Here we go. Oh, now
bit messy.
Now let's have a look.
It looked like McIntyre moved out too late, tagged the back of Cash, and that caused Cash to cut back across.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So that makes more sense in terms of it's being a strange bit of the circuit to get caught up on. McIntyre just trying to make every last bit of use of that toe.
I think we have to go on board for this one, don't we? It's going to go on a bit of a wild ride. Barrier, sky, ground, sky, ground. Oh dear. And out for Chris Cash, sadly. Here's Foggy, and there's the lead. Changing hands, is it?
Yeah, Rushworth trying to come back then on O'Connor, side by side as they go over the front straight. Be interesting to see how much Foggy gains in the slipstream just on this one straight. He's going to be right there on the exit of chicane, I think.
5 tenths, 4 tenths.
So Rushworth.
Oh, these two aren't going to be able to stop, and McIntyre might have just hit. I don't know if he did.
Yeah, it looked awfully close if he didn't. Yeah, they were just so busy.
Oh, he got out of it. You know what? It's actually good driving in the end, because he sacrificed himself and didn't want to hit the competitor, and that is, in the end, pretty decent driving.
Easy done. You're so busy concentrating on the guy alongside you that you just blow completely past your brake mark. I say it's interesting that it was both of them, not just McIntyre.
Yeah. Because whoever it was on the inside there, it was Denton, wasn't it? Just absolutely flew in there as well. Got away with it somewhat, did Paul Denton. He lost maybe a second or so, but he did make it, and he has carried on in the race. Cooper now finds himself in 5th place ahead of Sam Fitzpatrick for the Apex Racing Academy on a spinner, and it's Carl Hardy who's gone round at the exit of the Lesmo.
Yeah, so Cooper and Fitzpatrick we saw at the end of the last race were running nose to tail, and Cooper came out on top on that occasion. Currently we're the same way around, but yeah, looking very, very close between the 4 of these, Cooper, Fitzpatrick, Plumley and Stevens again in there, just keeping watch as well. Fitzpatrick not going to be ready for Parabolica, but maybe looking at turn 1.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and also looking at turn 1 might be Nicole Foggy. We know he's very late on the brakes.
We saw Connor make that great late brake move on Rushworth as well, so how brave are they going to try and be? Foggy's not close enough this time by anyway. And that's a little twitch on the downshift does O'Connor there as he turned in, controlled it nicely. And again on exit we see the car squirming underneath him. So yeah, these guys right on the limit of traction and adhesion as they're working through this fantastic circuit.
See how smooth Foggy can be as they go through the Curva della Roggia, then it's pretty difficult to be that smooth. But look at that, he just turns it in really nicely. You know he's got the car set up well when he can just, you know, tease the car through the corner really, and not minimal steering movement really.
Yeah, this car really does lend itself to that, like I say, clean, efficient steering input. Like I say, it's very, very little that you really need, as Rushworth has a little bit of a twitch on exit up ahead. It's so super, super bumpy on the exit there when you run over curbs, which is the racing line. That's what you're going to do. But yeah, all three of them scramble through somehow. These guys are 3.5 seconds or so ahead of the group behind in fourth place, or Paul Denton on his own. Yeah, you see mid-corner there, O'Connor trying to take a little bit of a tighter line, like mid-Ascari, to try and open up the exit and get as much of a drive as he can on Rushworth. It's not enough for here at the entry to Parabolica, but certainly he's closed a tenth or so down that straight.
Oh, wait a minute, there's problems here. Paul Crabb dropping down the order. And oh, hello, that's the end of it. It's into Ascari, Stefan Leslie as well. Oh, both contact and collecting another car, and another car has to go onto the gravel. And the other one was Laura Bond, who was... Oh no, it wasn't Laura Bond. It was... Who's the one behind? Might have been... Oh, I have no idea, to be honest, at this point. Sorry about that. No idea. Ooh. Oh, look at this! Oh, that was Rushworth spinning. Not the Rushworth spinning, sorry, no, O'Connor spinning.
Yeah, O'Connor, sorry. Yeah, so O'Connor tried that late braking move again, and it just couldn't get it... Well, he got it stopped, but he just couldn't keep the rear end in check as he turned in. Here we go. And I say, on the inside, late as you like on a brake, but it's that downshift. You saw it wasn't a gradual snap of the rear. It was, you know, 1 second it was under control, 1 second it wasn't.
Away.
That was that last gear shift, and that's what caused the rear to come straight around.
Seen that a lot, haven't we, today? A lot.
I mean, it's tricky. You know, it took me a handful of laps to find, like, say, that turning point. They do want to step out easy on turning down on those downshifts, but yeah, it's just finding a rhythm with it.
I think I might try the car after this. I must admit, I've never driven the car, so it does make me interested in wanting to have a little go. See just how difficult it is.
My favourite car on the service, so I would recommend it.
Somebody did say to me the other week, they said, Woodhouse, you know, you talk a lot about it, you don't know what it's like to race a car. I don't at all, so I'm going to have a go and see exactly what it's like with my limited talent, of course. Rushworth leads the way by 1.2 seconds, and it's now 1.1 seconds, as you can see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting
theme.
Then. Yeah, I mean, Foggy's within range of that draft, so you imagine that Foggy's going to close back up on Rushworth, but Rushworth is a super quick driver, seasoned operator. It's going to be quite a challenge, I think, for Foggy to get a move completed on him. But for sure, he's going to pull up to the back of him.
The state of Foggy's rear wing as well. I mean, he's got the second fastest speed out there, Nicole Foggy, in this race, 291 kilometres an hour. That's fast. That's about one. Oh, Rushworth's gone.
There we go.
Rushworth's in the gravel. He lost it at Curva della Roggia. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it just shows how hard Rushworth was pulling, trying not to let Foggy close up. Where does he lose it? Is it on turn-in? Yeah, he has a little bit of a twitch on turn-in, and then, as you say, yeah, 2 bites, and did well to hang on to it for as long as he did. There's like 3, 4, 5 little corrections in there, and eventually he just had to lose all that momentum.
It's a shame that, but he is still in third place, so he hasn't lost too much. It's not too bad for him. He's behind Paul Denton. He's only lost about 3 seconds, so he managed to get it gathered up pretty well. Fitzpatrick versus O'Connor as well is for P4. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah, so O'Connor, trying to come back from that challenge to the lead he was making earlier on. So 290 kilometres an hour is about 180 miles per hour. The
point I was going to make about Foggy's car, though, Lee, is that his rear wing's knackered, so surely that can't be helping him on the straights, as Rushworth just drives clean past Paul Denton like he's not even there. and gets back up in the second position, and with the bit between his teeth, no doubt, 1.9 seconds behind.
Yeah, no, you'd think that damage would be causing Foggy a problem. I mean, sometimes it can be misleading where your visual damage doesn't actually cause an issue, and other times, damage that you can't really see actually is there. So perhaps for Foggy, he's not feeling the effects of it, but he's certainly been lapping at a good pace.
Well, Nico Foggy, he's really going for it. He can't pull away, though, from Rushworth. Not at the moment anyway, but with 5 minutes to go, it's still his race to lose. He's got this in hand if he drives well, but we need to see just how it's affecting his speed, but sadly we can't really do that at the moment. Yeah, so at some point during the last couple of laps, Luke Cooper has retired as well, so he was battling hard with Sam Fitzpatrick for, 4th, 5th position, so yeah, he has retired and is out. Actually, as well, Foggy's got not only damage to the rear wing, but he's got damage to the bodywork at the back as well, and the diffuser, it looks like. So, if that is physical damage, that might explain why he's lost 3 or 4 tenths on this lap to Jamie Rushworth. And if we go on board with Rushworth, we'll see that Foggy's not an insurmountable target here. No, like I say, 7 tenths nearly gained from Rushworth on that lap, so you're not wrong. Yeah, Rushworth's going to be drawing more and more into the draft as well, so he's going to have that opportunity to develop. Going to be running out of laps though, only less than 4 minutes left now, so he's got his work cut out. Behind, Fitzpatrick and O'Connor still battling fairly hard, half second between them. Bodic and Webster as well. Webster's looking like he's closing just to within 3 tenths or so. O'Connor then surely going to have a go into the Curva della Roggia. Big speed advantage on Fitzpatrick at the moment here. Yeah, it's crazy how much he gained coming out of first chicane into this section. But like I say, really closed a lot. Big twitch from Fitzpatrick mid-corner, but he's still going. And we can see the damage on the back of O'Connor's car from the instant earlier on as well. Our colleague, of course, at Apex TV, Sam Fitzpatrick, and very highly I-rated driver, Lee. I think he's up somewhere around 4,000. So, I mean, he's not going to be a pushover for O'Connor. No, and O'Connor is, punching above his weight, if you like, if you look at the I ratings in the top 10, So he's doing good with maybe slightly less experience maybe than those around him. He's certainly running at a very, very quick pace. But looks like, say, O'Connor's feeling pretty confident and feeling strong, and he is for sure going to be making his way past Fitzpatrick. I think Adam McNally's had a bit of an issue because he's really lost a lot of time in the last couple of corners, and it looks like that's cost him a position to Paul Crabb. Ooh. Oh, and he's gone off in a big fashion. Still going. Let's have a look. He did. That's not the one. He did go off the track. Sorry, a little bit earlier on. He was a couple of seconds in front. Let's see. From the helicopter, it's going to be slightly hard to tell. Big slide. Yes, I think left rear, must have touched the grass as he turned in. We couldn't quite see it from the helicopter, but we could see the reaction from the car. As soon as he turned, it's not a heavy braking point in that area, so as soon as he turned in, the rear stepped out. So I think he must have just touched the grass as he turned in. Now this is the scene at the front of the race, and we've got 2 laps to go, Lee. Rushworth's within 7 tenths. Yeah, and he gained 7 tenths again on that previous lap. So 2 laps running, he's gained 7 tenths. So again, time is ticking away, but Rushworth is for sure closing right onto the very back. 44.0 from Rushworth last time by. The only other car in the 44s was Foggy, as we said, 7 tenths slower, and everybody else is like mid 45s or worse. Got to say, Dan Webster was also in the 44s as well, but he was the only other driver who troubled that marker. This is where we find out what Nico Foggy's really made of, because I think he must have a little bit of damage. Must have a little bit of. It must be affecting him slightly, because even when Rushworth was not in the slipstream, he was losing time to the former BSR TC champion, and the Foggy who's won the World GT Championship at least once. As we're going to see really how he can defend here, but can he defend, Lee? Because Rushworth's catching him hand over fist. He might even get to him before the chicane.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think Rushworth's probably going to bide his time. He's not quite going to be in a strong enough position. Just shows his nose, just to make sure Foggy knows that he is lurking and is prepared. But yeah, they both get cleanly through that chicane there. Foggy taking it maybe a little bit on the safe side. Didn't really clatter the curbs through there. And just trying to make sure he gets as good an exit as he can. And we saw he gained 2 tenths on exit there.
See the best laps on the screen as well. 44.0 by Rushworth, his fastest lap of the race. Foggy 44.4 as well. That's impressive. Look at the gains. Rushworth started on pole. Of course, that mistake dropped him down one. Foggy started in 13th.
Yeah, and Foggy just struggled on exit of the chicane there. He clobbered the curb a little bit awkwardly and had to lift off. We could hear the engine drop and then plant back down again as he tried to come off the corner. So that really enabled Rushworth just to close in those few more hundredths. Still just the back at this 4 tenths sort of mark. So he's only got half a lap now. And it's all going to be about whether he can get the exit out of the Ascari and position himself well enough for the Parabolica. So here we go. Looks like a little bit of more curb from Foggy on the first part, more curb on the second part as well. Pretty similar on the exit, and Rushworth giving it absolutely everything. He's keeping his foot in, still closing. If he gets a run here, let's see how this turns out. But Foggy takes a defensive position, and Rushworth's just not quite able to hang on in there.
Here's the run to the line then, Lee. What's it going to be? It's going to be super
Rushworth's
close.
got an awesome exit though. Yeah, definitely got the exit. Foggy's just about to hang on in there.
Oh, Nico Foggy.
That was close.
Once again, manages to do it by 0.04. I tell you what, he's cutting it fine today, but he's making it work. James McRitchie coming across in 8th place. Stefan Leslie, the Frenchman. He's going to get there ahead of Adam McNally, who's had a bit of an appalling last couple of laps. Not surprisingly, really, with the way that his car looks. And then we've got Laura Bond in 17th. Started in 21st place. And then Carl Hardy's the last one over the line. See how many he's gained. He's lost actually 13. Oh yeah, because he was involved. I think he might have been involved on the first lap in something where he might have had to take some evasive action. Yeah, Hardy coming across, and that will complete the results for race 3, which you can now see on your screen.
Yeah, so great night of racing for Nicole Foggy then. So what was that? 2 wins and a second for Foggy? Crazy night. Second place for Jamie Rushworth then, finishing just about 3 and a bit hundredths behind. Paul Denton then in 3rd with Sam Fitzpatrick in 4th. Elaine O'Connor then in 5th with Kip Stevens in 6th. Dan Webster 7th. James McRitchie in 8th with Tristan Bodgic in 9th. Craig Williams in 10th with Jack Ashton in 11th. Robert Plumley in 12th with Alan McCain in 13th. Paul Crabb then in 14th with Stefan Leslie. In 15th with that great elf traditional livery on that car, by the way. 16th place for Adam McNally with Laura Bond on 17th. Cole Hardy then in 18th position. And 19th was Anthony Jacobson. Rich Kafenku in 20th with Steve Hevered in 21st. Luke Cooper in 22nd with Will Daniels in 23rd. Trevor Blackburn 24th with Jack McIntyre in 25th. Chris Cash 26th with Lorne Murray in 27th. Jamie Ayres in 28th with Jamie Myers in 29th. Steve Glatzel in 30th with David Ayres in 31st. Craig Jones 32nd. Kyle Jacquelet 33rd. Richard Warmingham in 34th. Johnny Brandon 35th. Jordan Giddings in 36th. And that was our final race of the night.
It was indeed. And the man who finished 4th here, Sam Fitzpatrick, he joins us in the commentary box. Sam, how are we doing?
Guys. Good, thanks.
Well, good to see you in the commentary box, and good to see you out there in the top 4. How did you find that one?
Yeah, that was a really good day overall. First race was 9th, and then next 2 races were 2 4ths. So pretty much as good as I could hope, really. Like, I think Nicole managed to get 2 firsts and a second, but that's a little bit far away. But no, it was just really good because I think going into this race, I'd retired from 3 out of the previous 4 races. So just to get 3 good top 10s, always what I aim for. So really pleased with that.
How did you approach the race in terms of, we're seeing the start, for instance, on the screen now, and it was just a wall of cars going into the Rettifilio. What did you do in terms of, what was it? Did you have a strategy, or did you just take every corner as it came?
Or just sticking to your line. If you're on the outside going into the corner, stay on the outside. Don't turn in whatsoever. Because I'm certainly trying to play the points game, and you've got to just try to finish every race you possibly can. And a lot of it is down to luck. Like I said, 3 out of the 4 races going into this I'd retired from, so it's not down to skill. You do have to get a lot of luck out there, but you just got to try to leave as much room as possible and leave a lot of space on the braking as well. Just brake earlier than the guy ahead, and then you can never run into him. So just little things that you learn across the season.
How easy is it to lose focus around this circuit? Because we were talking about it on the commentary, saying that basically if you're side by side with another car and this car's battling in front, you often get baited into trying to brake later than the guy you're alongside. And we saw at the front a couple of cars nearly McIntyre actually crashed because he just simply braked too late.
That's a real trouble with this circuit, and I was really hoping, or I was really trying not to fall into that trap. I did manage to get another person to fall into that trap, I think, in race 2, which is always quite nice when you can do that to your opponent. But of course, just trying to avoid that every moment. But it's so intense up there, like the car around this circuit is just so slippery that you got to constantly, be concentrated to, keep it in a straight line. The curves as well are absolutely vicious. So, it's all about just, keeping it in the straight line, and it can get pretty intense up there.
Lee, have you got anything for Sam?
No, other than congratulations on surviving yet another week in BSR. As we said, it's a very tricky car and track combination, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, I think, is Scuba. So that should be... I don't know about that one. That's going to be a short circuit, very, very different to this one. But that will be... I'm really looking forward to that one. That's a good circuit.
That's a lovely little circuit, is that? It's going to be chaos out there, 40-odd cars. Good luck with that on the pretty short layout that it is. So it's going to be a bit like Brands Hatch Indy probably out there. But you know what? The great thing about Scuba is you don't really have to learn it, because everyone knows it, and if they haven't, then they've just simply never played Gran Turismo, have they?
Absolutely, it's pretty awesome. So it's just that it's all hairpins, but somehow it's got such a great flow, and everyone's going to be on pace there, I think. So,
cracking last corner there as well, though. Really good last corner, and that's probably going to be the one that's going to make or break a lot of the drivers. Really, how much speed can you carry through that final corner and onto the very, very short main straight? So we do look forward to that. But in the meantime, Sam, thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Do you want to give any thank yous and shout outs?
Thanks to my teammates at the Apex Racing Academy team, especially thanks to Luke Cooper. Us two worked really well out there in races 2 and 3, and I don't think I would have got those results if it weren't for him. And also thanks to Pitstime Motorsport as well, my other team. And also thanks to Apex Racing TV, of course. And check in on the UOB 8th Saturday evening as well.
Yeah, indeed. Lots more action coming up on the channel over the coming days. And Sam's going to be involved in some of that, so go and check that out. Thank you, Sam. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
Sam Fitzpatrick there, and Lee, I believe, has found Nicole Foggy.
Yeah, Nicole, if you look at the results, it's an almost perfect race night for you. Did it feel like a perfect night of racing?
Hey, I think a big bit of luck involved. I thought I should jump in because I got the 1-2-1, but definitely a lot of luck involved. With so much draft on this track, and I got a few such close calls with people losing it on the chicane and just clipping them. And it's so easy to get a meatball in this car. I think I got pretty lucky to get those.
Yeah, we saw in 2 of your races getting the closest to margins at the finish as well. Obviously, super important to make sure you're hitting your marks around the circuit to get your exits. Where did you find your most challenging section of the circuit to really sort of nail those exits to restrict your chance of the guy behind?
I'd probably say the second chicane. You've got to be careful over the curbs, and if it bounces coming out of the chicane and you accelerate, I think the car's got so much torque it just spins up the wheels as soon as they leave the ground, and then when you land back down again, you just have no grip and it just goes. So you really got to listen to it for if it is bouncing, and then so that's the difficult part. You got to be careful there.
Sorry, Nicole. Yeah, interesting you comment on that one, because actually in the last race we saw, I think maybe last lap or second to last lap, we actually had a good camera shot of exactly that, where you maybe took a little bit more curb than you planned on the second part of that chicane, and we could hear your throttle have to lift and pause for the shortest of moments before you could jump back on the throttle again and drive out the corner, as you say.
Yeah, you just got to be so careful. Such a sensitive car, and I don't know what it's like with other setups. Like, I don't know how good these setups are compared to something that you might try and do yourself. A non-fixed setup, but they're fun to drive anyway. You do get a lot of understeer as well.
I've just seen something on the stream. You passing two cars on the exit of the Curva della Roggia and almost getting pushed onto the grass. What was that like?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if it was a move I should take, but I went for it anyway. I'm in this series to try have some fun racing, so I definitely got that. But that was scary.
Brilliant. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah, well, say congratulations on your night racing, Foggy. As you say, yeah, fantastic results with 2 wins in a second. Couldn't be anything more than that. Any shout-outs that you want to do before we finish up?
Just a team as usual, XVR. I think Johnny got really unlucky tonight. I don't think he scored any points, so he won't be leading the championship anymore. And Lane did well tonight as well. He got 5th place, I think, in the last race, so well done to him. And also thanks to you guys. Always enjoy watching the broadcast back. So yeah, thank you.
Lovely, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and make sure you come back and see us a bit more often. All right. So Lee, I really enjoyed that night's racing. I don't know about you. I thought it was really competitive and really close.
Yeah, it was good. Sorry to everybody again for us missing essentially all of race 2. So hopefully that was not one of the more interesting races. But yeah, I had a little bit of trepidation going into this race, just thinking that it was going to be, a bit too tough for these guys. Massive field, tricky car to drive, huge speeds, and massive braking zones. I just foresaw pile up after pile up going into the heavy braking zones. But so we saw quite a number of individual errors, which I think is pretty fair, because as I said, it's a tricky track with this car, but actually we saw lots of good racing out there. It was good to see, and as you say, as you and Sam were talking about, it's going to be a big difference to the circuit next week. That's Tsukuba.
Yeah, Tsukuba, I'm really looking forward to that, and that'll be coming your way exactly the same time here on Apex Racing TV. But for now, from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, from Lee Thompson, and everybody here at Apex TV and all the drivers in the BSR Radical Thursday, it's good night from Monza. Arrivederci.